1.
All right, let's get started. My name is Lilli Weber, and my controversial topic is homeschooling. I have two perspectives to this side. The first side is the parent. Their claims are curriculum based on what's best for the child and choosing the best environment. The next perspective is the professor or educator. Their claims are lack of effective regulation and lack of parent instruction. Beginning with curriculum based on what's best for the child, an article published in December 2019 from Dr. Christopher S. Baird, a parent professor at West Texas University, says, "The flexibility of homeschooling has allowed us to try many different workbooks, curricula, and teaching approaches, enabling us to determine those that work best with each of our children." So, working from maybe what they struggle with, instead of struggling as a whole as a classroom, you're doing it based on yourself, which will help out the student. Moving on to another article published May 13th, 2020 from the James G. Martin Center, a nonprofit, by Brian D. Day, a president of the National Home Education Research Institute, NARI. He says that 11 of 14 peer-reviewed studies on academic achievement found homeschool students significantly outperformed conventional students. So that kind of goes hand in hand. From working on your weaknesses, it then goes to better test scores because you're gaining more knowledge. Moving on to the next claim, we have environment based on what is best for the child. We have an article published in October 2015 by the Kids Health, a nonprofit, reviewed by Dr. Stephen A. Dowshin, a pediatric endocrinologist, saying that parents want religion in their child's education. So if they don't want to take them to private schools, but they want religion, then that's when they're going to go to homeschooling. And then another article published November 2017 from Coalition for Responsible Home Educators. Dr. Rachel Coleman, she got her PhD from IU in history, says that 34% parents are concerned most about their environment. So basically, their environment, the staff, the kids, maybe bullying might be an issue. And then we go to March 23rd in 2020, an article was published by NARI from Brian D. Day, saying that relationships and social skills are guided and enhanced. So basically, they're allowed to guide their relationships, moving them out to jobs or community service and other things, and they enhance it. They make their child better. And then transitioning to the next perspective, we start out with no effective regulation. An article published in May 15th, 2020 from the Harvard Gazette, Liz Mineo interviews Harvard Law School professor Elizabeth Bartholet. Elizabeth Bartholet states, "There's actually no way to learn how they do on average because homeschoolers don't exist as a visible population due to the lack of regulation." So it's hard for them to determine how well they do on tests. But I mean, they could get like maybe a small population to do like the 11 of 14 peer reviewed, but they don't have it as a whole like what public schools would have. And then we have the article published in 2020 by the CRHE, which is just the Coalition of Responsible Home Educators, from Catherine Brightbill, which got her Juris Doctor degree of law. She says that 39 states have no parent education requirements, so you could not even have a GED and still be able to teach your kid, which is kind of hard for the kid because the parent's not really going to know much, so the kid's just going to have their own motivation, which is hard for kids which have no motivation. And then the last claim, which is the lack of parent instruction, we have an article posted in 2020 from the Harvard Library Office of Scholarly Communications, again by Elizabeth Bartholet, but not an interview. She says that there is a risk of students losing out on opportunities that are essential for employment and choices. So the parents that are not guiding and enhancing their students or their children, they're losing out on the opportunities that they could have. They're kind of just crammed in. And then one more point from lack of parent instruction is in 2019 Vanderbilt Law Review, Timothy B. Waddle, which is a graduate from Vanderbilt Law School, says that parents don't notify state authorities as the child can be subject to educational neglect, abuse, taught in such a way to render them dangerous or unproductive citizens. So basically, if the parent's not notifying the state authorities, from this lack of regulation and from the parent then not instructing their child, basically, it's like tons of things can go wrong with the child, and it could just not benefit them in any way. So my main points are the flexibility in the curriculum and the environment, and then we also have the lack of effective regulation and the lack of parent instruction. My stasis is the quality relies on the parent, because whenever the kid starts out young, it's kind of hard for the kid to have opinions on things, so it's mainly relies on the parent, because the parent has the thing that starts them out young, and so that's really where you get into it. And if they don't do anything about it at all, the child's he's gonna grow up with no education or really anything. But thank you.
Hi.